What's up, everybody? Rob Vico here, coming to you live with episode 65 of Rob Help My Marketing Sucks. Let's get the mic. I put it a little lower since I talk so loud. Episode 65 of Rob Help My Marketing Sucks. We come to you live every Monday at 2, except this Monday, which we're doing at 2:30. This is my first episode of the new year. And for whatever reason, we're a little bit behind. My camera crew isn't here, so I'm riding solo. Not really sure if I set everything up right. So if you can hear me, if you can see, and I'm not sideways or upside down or anything like that, give me a like or give me a comment. Let me know that everything's coming through, because I don't have someone here. Usually my wife is in the background and she'll tell me everything that's going on. And my Facebook is just randomly loading, and I'm not able to see. All right. I see I got a few people on here. Mckeown and Denney. All good. All right. Thank you, Mckeown. So we know we're all good. I'm not coming in upside down or you can't hear me. So let's kick off this episode. Today I want to talk about, not necessarily talk about marketing, but I want to talk about business, and I want to talk about the new year. I know it's day 15 into the new year, but for me, this is my first episode of the year. And I want to talk to you guys about, what is our mindset going into the new year? What are the things that we're going to do to take our business to the next level? And I have a great story from my trip down to Washington, D.C. that can really put a lot of things into perspective for those of you that have been meaning to do shit, for those of you that have been talking about writing a book or doing this, or whatever it is you've been wanting to do in your business that you've been talking about and you haven't done. I'm going to give you an example of a gentleman that I met in Washington, D.C. that should get you off your ass and do the thing that you've been talking about doing for so long, that's going to help take your business to the next level. So while I was in Washington, D.C. for the holiday break, first thing that happened was on our way back home from Washington, so we took the auto train. So if you're not familiar with the auto train, it leaves out of Florida and your car goes with you on the train and you get dropped off in D.C. So we were able to drive back to Miami, and we planned on stopping a day in North Carolina, a day in South Carolina, a day in Georgia, and then getting into Florida. And that didn't quite work out because we got stuck in that snowstorm that hasn't happened since 1989. And we got stuck on I-95 in South Carolina. We got on I-95 at 11 in the morning. We were not able to get off I-95 and find the hotel room till 2 in the morning. So this hyperactive, ADHD, restless individual was stuck in a car for 15 hours. I thought I was going to lose my fucking mind. But it did help me realize that all these places around the world that I would love to travel to and never thought that I could be on a plane for that long, I overcame that. After 15 hours in a car, man, 9-10 hours on a plane seems like a breeze. On a plane, I can walk up and down the aisle. I can have a drink. This was miserable, but we have an epic story to tell about our Christmas vacation. So now let me get to the Christmas vacation and tell you guys about who I met and why I'm using that as the topic for today's episode. I forgot to introduce myself in the beginning, but my name is Rob Vico. I'm the CEO and founder of Outrageous Promotions. We're going on our 19th year of helping small businesses combine the power of direct response marketing and copywriting, combined with the power of the $22 billion promotional products industry, to create promotions and marketing campaigns that are outrageously effective. I'm also the leader of the Kick-Ass Marketing for Brick and Mortar Business Owners group on Facebook. I've been slacking it a little bit while I was on holiday break. My kids are still too little to understand why Poppy's always on his phone, why Poppy's always on Facebook. They don't think that it's for work or for running my group. They think I'm just bored with them and I'd rather be on my phone. So I made a conscious effort to not be on Facebook while I was on my holiday break with my family. So I'm getting back into the swing of things with the group. That's Kick-Ass Marketing for Brick and Mortar Business Owners. If you're a brick and mortar business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to jump in the group, I'll post up a link in the comments below, and you can just click the link and join the group. I'm going to start off every episode like I did last year, which is giving out the big-ass thank you of the week. And this big-ass thank you is going out to a whole bunch of people this week. I figured in the new year is a great way to show some appreciation, show some gratitude to some of the new relationships that I've built on Facebook. See, last year, when I started doing my show, I got a lot more involved in Facebook. I got a lot more social and networking and adding value and just making some good relationships. And I've met some really cool entrepreneurs, business owners, marketers, copywriters, all kinds of people in the last year. And there's some that just really stand out to me. And I want to give you all the big ass thank you of the week. And that goes out to Arne, Giske, Ivy, Lauren, Akbar, Daniel Veiga, Ben Perry, Sema, Beth, Griffith. If I don't say your last name, it's because I cannot pronounce it, so I figured better not say it than to butcher it. Landon and Ash Porter, Liz Core, Mark Lavine, the Bald Gorilla, Jason Dollinger, Kristy Marshall, who coincidentally woke up this morning and she gave a big shout out to me and a bunch of other entrepreneurs. So a double thank you to you, Kristy. Ross Williams, Jason Fisico, Amy Berner, Ben Frame and his partner Adam, Jonny West, Cory Lamb, Lara, Ed Raye, Tori Reid, Trish Leto, Matt Staton, Dale Hansen, Brandon, Sylvania Harrod, Sonja, Jeff Hunter, Luis Alvarado, Vid, Danny Valdes, Mike Lawson, Jeff Miller, Steph Nygren, Dustin, Kate St. Hillary, Paul, Jaden, and Nick Snapp. And the reason that I mention all of them and just to give you one big blanket is because these are people you should be following. These are people you should be learning from, interacting with, building relationships with. These people are all amazing marketers, they're all amazing entrepreneurs, they're amazing copywriters. And these are people that I've built relationships with throughout the year. I've only met maybe 2 or 3 of these people in person. Looking forward to meeting a bunch of you if you're going to be going to the ClickFunnels Funnel Hacker Live event in Orlando in March. I will be there. Looking forward to meeting a bunch of you and looking forward to continuing to build relationships with a whole lot of other people on social media and expanding that network of kick-ass entrepreneurs. Now let's get into today's topic. This frame, my wife gave it to me for Father's Day, and it hangs in my office. And in case you can't see it too clearly, it says you can't deposit excuses. Okay? As entrepreneurs, we don't have anybody that's going to hold us accountable. We don't have anyone that's going to make us do something. If we don't get it done, we didn't get it done, nothing happens. Nobody writes us up, HR doesn't make a note in our file. So we have to be extra diligent and not procrastinating. And I am a master at procrastinating. I tend to use my ADHD as an excuse to go off on tangents and procrastinate, and that's something that I'm going to be working on for 2018. But it's crucial for us entrepreneurs, us business owners, those people that gotta make it. Every week we gotta make it happen. We cannot deposit excuses, and we got a lot of fucking excuses. And I'm going to show you a gentleman right now that I met in Washington, D.C. that should help you overcome all of your bullshit excuses. Let me see if I can... Oh, I got to switch back to my slides here. I'm trying to monitor the comments on Facebook. Oh, I didn't bring the copy. So when I was in D.C., outside of one of these restaurants, and by the way, it was freaking cold in D.C. I don't know why anybody wants to live there. That was miserable, being homegrown from Miami. I don't ever want to deal with that again. It was like 17 degrees when we took this picture. And I met this homeless gentleman outside of a restaurant. And what kind of caught my attention was this box of books that he had there. And I thought, the guy's selling some books. I guess he's got a little thing going on. But as I get closer and I strike up a conversation with him, this gentleman managed to self-publish a book about his experience being homeless, okay? Let me repeat that to you. This gentleman is homeless and has managed to self-publish a book and list it on Amazon, and he sells it out here in the streets as a way to make some money trying to get himself off the streets, okay? So that's why I say you can't deposit excuses. Do you know how many business owners I know, how many entrepreneurs I personally know that tell me they want to write a book and they haven't done shit to write that book? This gentleman is an amazing individual. Had some, I don't know the whole back end story. I read his book. I read on the 15 hours that I was stuck on I-95. And it was an amazing book. And what he had to do to write this book is just amazing to me. Okay, so he lives in a tent in an empty field somewhere. And he panhandled and did day labor jobs, making $30 a day, doing evictions and moving companies, and he saved up all of the money that he was making to save up $500 to get this laptop on sale He got the laptop, he charges it at the library, he uses the library's free Wi-Fi, and he started to write a book about his experience, went on CreateSpace, published it by himself. It was a heck of a journey to get it done, and now he sells his book out on the street, and he made an incredible impression on me, and I give this gentleman so much respect. And some of the people that I called out in the big thank you, I'm going to tag you in this because I really want you to watch this video, because my kids said one thing to me. They said, Bobby, why would he write a book? I said, guys, he wrote the book because he felt he needed to tell his story, and maybe it was a way for him to make some extra money. And then Mom said, you never know, maybe somebody from the Oprah show or something like that will walk by one day, discover him, and he'll make it big. And my daughter turned to me and said, Papi, why don't you and all your marketing friends help him? That hasn't left my mind. And I'm not quite sure how to help him. I know there's one of my friends who was on my 1-year anniversary show, Akbar. He has a goal of ending homelessness. And maybe this is a cool project that we can get a bunch of marketers together on and figure out a way to create a book funnel for him and drive a bunch of sales there and let this gentleman get a big fat royalty check from Amazon, and he gets the checks mailed to the shelter that he stays at sometimes. That's where he gets the books mailed. So my point in showing you all this is get off your asses, drop the excuses, forget about the procrastinating, look, well, the one thing that holds me back the most is fear. So fuck fear. Push fear out of the way. Go for what you want. Do what you've been talking about doing. Use this gentleman right here as an example. If this gentleman, homeless, living on the streets, and everything that comes along with that, can write his story, can self-publish his book, get it on Amazon, and get his hustle going and selling them out here on the streets of D.C. in the freezing cold weather. I felt so bad. He went to autograph the book for me, and his hand was shaking. And he couldn't sign it. He says, I'm so sorry, my hands are numb from the cold, okay? That's the kind of shit that this person is doing to get himself in a better situation. And there are so many of us who have everything we want and are scared to go after the next, are scared to take our businesses to the next level. So I'm going to go over 8 habits of successful people. I don't remember where I got this from. I've had this for quite some time. Let's go over them real quick, and I want you guys to think about, what are you doing to make yourself a success? What are you doing to push yourself out of your comfort zone, to push past your own fears? Yes, Jane, actually, thank you for bringing that up. I mentioned this story on a Facebook group, and it didn't occur to me at the moment, Jane, that the book would be listed on Amazon. When I was trying to think of how do I help him, I thought, how do I help a guy who's physically selling books on a sidewalk in Washington, D.C.? But the book is available on Amazon. I don't remember who was it that found it and sent me the link. So there is a way that we can drive a whole bunch of people to buy this gentleman's book on Amazon. And I'm going to drop the link to the Amazon in there, and I'm going to try to get a group of people together, and maybe we can do something to just really show how we can put our entrepreneurial spirit and put our marketing skills to work and help somebody out who's really deserving of that, who really earned my respect, and I don't give my respect too easily. So thank you for that, Jane. So let's look at read every single day. Okay, now that doesn't mean just read, right? Read and implement. Right? I started doing this sometime 2 years ago. I read a lot of marketing books, but it got to a point where I was just reading the books, and I caught myself saying, well, what's the point of reading all this if I'm not implementing them? So then I got myself to the other extreme where I completely overwhelmed myself with the amount of shit I wanted to implement from a book, and that was a failure. So I decided that whenever I read a book, I would pick one thing from that book and implement that in my business, in my marketing, or in my personal life, depending on what I'm reading about. And then I started doing that with newsletters. Like I get the Dan Kennedy newsletter, I get the, I think it's the Digital Marketer newsletter. And I said, oh, every month you read the newsletter, implement one thing you read from that newsletter, okay? So it's not about just reading, it's about implementing what we read. It's about using that knowledge, putting that knowledge to work. So I'm asking you, what books are you going to read this year? What book are you going to start reading tomorrow? If you're reading a great book and you want to share it in the comments, I know Ben Frame, I don't know if he's watching, but Ben Frame is a big reader. I actually got a picture to show you, Ben. I was at the farmer's market on the weekend, and I scored about 10 sales and marketing books at a little booth at the farmer's market. I'll take a picture and show them to you. But if you got a book that you're recommending, right? So one of the books that I bought last year that I never got to pick up and read, there was 2 of them, and those are the 2 that I'm starting off this year with. One of them was The One Thing, and It's the other one. And Blue Ocean Strategy. Those 2 books I bought, never got around to picking them up. So those are the ones I'm reading this year. Please, if you got a book that you recommend, if you got a book you're reading, drop it in the comments. Share it with all our viewers. I'll drop in the comments the 2 are that I'm going to start reading. And next one is focusing on high-level tasks, right? This has to do with procrastinating. We tend to procrastinate by doing busy work, right? I got a bunch of busy work to do after the show. I got invoices to make, purchase orders to make, emails to respond. And I tend to leave all that for later in the day so that in the morning when I first get here, I'm focused. If I start in the morning with the busy stuff, my brain gets all scattered. I start off my day doing 10 different things, and my day ends up doing 20 more different things, and I never really get any one important thing done, or what a lot of you refer to as revenue generating activity, right? So what are those high level tasks? What are those revenue generating activities? What are those activities that are going to take you and your business to the next level in 2018, and focus on those things? Make your health a priority. This is one that I'm starting. I went to the gym last week. I haven't been to a gym in probably 2 years. I went to the gym last week, went 4 days in a row. Didn't do anything other than 20 minutes on the elliptical, but it's a start. And every day when I didn't want to take my ass to the gym, I told myself it's only 20 minutes. You can do it for 20 minutes. That's all you got to commit to, 20 minutes. So hopefully this week I may be able to push it to 30 and eventually get off the elliptical and actually start doing some weights and beefing up my fitness routine. But one of the other things that I want to talk about is not just making your health a priority, making your mental health a priority. This is something that's come up in quite a few groups that I'm a part of in late in the year last year. And as entrepreneurs, we deal with a lot. We deal with a lot of anxiety. We deal with a lot of stress. I deal with my ADHD, which I actually, at 47 years old, finally decided to make a conscious effort to fix my ADHD. It's something that I've been battling my entire life. It's something that caused me a lot of shit as a kid and as a teenager. And as an adult, I kind of learned how to deal with it, but I never really have done anything to manage it, to improve it. I've always been against the medication. But I joined Brian's Unstoppable ADHD program, and I'm making it a priority, not just my physical health, but my mental health as well. Again, we deal with anxiety, we deal with stress. Anxiety and stress cause us depression. Depression will cause us to start thinking about imposter syndrome, right? I don't deserve this. Who am I? I'm just a fraud. I'm not a marketer. I'm not this, I'm not that. All that shit that goes on in our head as entrepreneurs, we got to squash that shit. Our mindset will start to deteriorate, and that'll cause our physical health all the way around to deteriorate. Learn from people you admire. All right, this is a good one. This is about having mentors. This is why I got so active in so many Facebook groups last year. And I'm amazed by the things that I've learned completely free in different Facebook groups. Ben Perry's got a great group on organic engagement. Landon and Ash got a great group on getting sales without being salesy. Arnie's got a great group for Facebook groups. Like, there's just so much out there. We're in a day and age where there's so much information. We have so much access. We just got to tap into it. Pick some mentors. Look, I'll give you a good example. I'm learning how to build a Facebook group, and from a 23-year-old. Now I'm 47 years old. Does that mean that I can't learn from someone younger? No. Last year, I worked with Amanda Goldman from Market Like a Nerd. She's 27 years old. But did I learn from her? Absolutely learned a lot from her. What I'm learning from the younger generation is really how to tap into the power of technology, how to tap into the power of the internet to not only take your business to the next level, but build a business that works around your lifestyle, right? And that's something that us traditional, being much older, our traditional business owners, we learned that we start a brick and mortar, and you have employees and machinery and all this. This is what makes a business. And I'm learning from the millennial generation that they're doing about it completely different, and it's changed my perception of millennials. I used to be one of these cranky old people that thought millennials this, millennials that. It's really, tapping into them has really changed my mindset on millennials. It's not that they're entitled or lazy. They're just going about it in a very different way than our generation went about it. Plan your day the night before. This is something I started doing last year, and then I stopped doing it. And I'm going back to doing it because my overactive mind doesn't stop at night. So at night, I tend to think a lot, and it causes me insomnia. The insomnia causes anxiety, makes the ADHD worse, yada, yada, yada. It's a big freaking vicious circle that I've been dealing with, and I'm trying to break out of that cycle. And just writing down 3 things Before I go to bed, I write down 3 things that I want to do the next day. Just 3. Don't make yourself this huge to-do list. You're setting yourself up for failure. I used to do that. I used to make a to-do list of fucking 19 things on it in one day. I wouldn't get any of it done, and then I'd beat myself up that I didn't get anything done on my list. So now I take it, 3 things. 3 things. My day doesn't end until those 3 things are done. But just 3 things every night that's going to help your brain ease up at night. It's going to help your brain downshift. And they say that subconsciously your brain will start working on how you're going to accomplish these 3 things. So you're much more effective the next day because your brain has been subconsciously figuring out how are we going to make these 3 things happen, right? I don't know how well that works or not. But I've been doing it this year again. I kind of slacked off of it in 2017, which is a typical pattern for me. I get into kind of a groove and I think, I don't need to do that anymore. I'm good. And then it all goes to shit again. Keep your goals in front of you. This is another one that I stopped doing. I did an episode last year about this, where it's not just writing down your goals, but having your goals in a place where you can see them every single day. It's not writing down your goals and sticking them in a drawer. It's visualizing them. It's every day. It's kind of like those. I forget the word of it, and I forget the word I'm looking for now. Those self-affirmations, when you look at yourself in the bathroom mirror and you self-affirm all the things, it's kind of what you want to do with your goals as well. Again, subconsciously want our brain to continue to focus on achieving those goals. Take action even when it's scary. That's when I tend to take action the most. I let, for many, many years, I let fear hold me back. And now when I'm scared of something, I just go head forward. It's like if I'm scared of it, now I got to fucking do it. So you got to kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone. I think it was my friend Armando Sotero who said one time, there's a whole other world on the other side of fear. Something like that. I probably butchered that all up. But he's right. You know, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we deal with a lot of fear. We deal with a lot of the unknown, and we have to overcome that. And we overcome that with our mindset. And so many of these other things can help get our mindset right to that point where we overcome fear. And have a powerful and inspiring why. This is another big one. You got to know your why. For many years, until I started doing this show, I kept all my why. I kept it all very close to the chest. Didn't want anybody to really know things about me, about my past, and what I've overcome. And I realized that in sharing all of that, it made me realize how much I've overcome. It made me feel better about myself than keeping it all bottled up inside. And my why now is entrepreneurship saved my life. Becoming an entrepreneur allowed me to get out of the crazy life that I was living and change my life around. It hasn't all been rainbows and fucking butterflies. It's been a hell of a 19 years as a business owner. But those ups and downs, all of that starts to make you who you are. All of that starts to make you the person that you become, is that adversity, right? In Spanish, we have a saying that says, lo que no mata engorda. It's kind of hard to translate, but it's basically what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I'm not quite sure why it's what doesn't kill you makes you fatter in Spanish, but it's basically what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's what I've started to realize. Every fear that I overcome makes me stronger. Every fear that I overcome makes my why stronger, okay? What's my why now? My why is to give back to entrepreneurship by helping as many small business owners as I can. That's why I started doing this show. And I want to start a nonprofit organization to teach at-risk, low-income teenagers and young adults that they don't have to choose the path that I chose when I first started to figure things out. You can choose entrepreneurship. You can put that same street smarts, that same swag, that same brilliance and creativity. We can put that to work on something that's legit, something that's real. It's not as easy and appealing, but that's my goal of teaching them how to do it the same way I did. It took me many, many years to overcome it all. It wasn't until I was 29 years old that I finally started to get my life together. And I want to pay that back. I want you guys to share with me your whys. Right? It's scary, but take a second, jump into the comments, share your why with everybody. Put it out there. Share some shit that you never thought you'd share. Share some stuff that you've been keeping close to the chest. You're going to feel amazing, and you're going to get responses from others like I do, thanking you for sharing, telling you how amazing your story is. And I kept that all inside for so many years, and it cost me so much frustration and so much agony that it was amazing to release it all. And to continue to release it and be transparent and be authentic and be genuine. Don't be full of shit. Really, I mean, it's that simple. Don't be full of shit, and your life will be so much easier. Your business will move along so much better. I do a bad job of keeping up with the comments because I start talking and I don't want to lose my train of thought. Rocking, I'm 52. Yes, Jane, we're like the old millennials, right? When I first joined Arne's group, the MEC, I thought they wouldn't accept me in the group. I was like, millennial entrepreneur community? What's this all about? Let's see if they'll let me in here. They did. They let a couple of old guys slide in there. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for tuning in. I was just talking about how I joined your program, and I'm making an effort in 2018 to get a grip on my ADHD. So we've been talking about books to read. Share some of the books you're reading or some of the books you think others should read. Share your why. Share your fears. Share stuff. You're going to feel so much better after you release it all. And so I think I started at 2:30, so I got a few minutes to wrap this up and try to keep it to half an hour. I have a couple of announcements, and I have a couple of questions for you all. So let me get to the questions, and if you're watching the replay, take a second to let me know, right? So when I first started doing this show, it was supposed to be a live call-in show where people would call in with their marketing questions. And in the first few weeks, quite a few people sent me in their questions, and then that kind of just fizzled out, and I didn't really make much of an effort to get people to submit questions. But I would love to start that again. I would love to kind of further engage with people. So if you got a marketing question, if you're not quite sure what to do with your marketing, you have a marketing piece that you're putting out, and you want some feedback on it, do you have a question on a strategy or how you do this, or even like a simple question like what exactly is a funnel, right? Let me know. Put it in the comments. Send me an instant message, and I want to get back to that. The other thing that I want you all to let me know is what do you want to know about, right? What is it that you want to learn about when it comes to marketing your business? So that I want to pick topics that are relevant to what you want to learn. So I tend to put myself, not put myself because I am a small business owner, I tend to put myself in the mindset of a small business owner and what are the key things that they need to learn about marketing, right? Because before you go off and you start doing funnels and you start doing all this other stuff, you got to get the foundation, you got to get the core principles of marketing set in your business before you jump into chatbots and funnels and SEO and pay-per-click and all these other great things that are out there, but you got to get that core foundation, okay? And that core foundation should be direct response marketing, and that's what I love to do. That's what I've been doing for 19 years. That's what I consider myself to be an expert at, and I need to know from you guys, what do you want to know about direct response marketing so that I can pick topics that are going to be relevant, okay? The other thing that I want to start doing is, in the show, I only got 30 minutes. I tend to go very fast. I tend to talk quickly. So I want to do an after show, right? So where I get on here and I talk to you guys and I teach you guys a certain technique, but I want to be able to come up back on live around 7 o'clock maybe and do a question and answer where we can dig in much deeper to the particular topic we're speaking about, as well as I can give feedback. Others that are watching that can also give their feedback, and we can have a very open, interactive dialogue on that. I tried to do that, I don't know, a few months back I tried to do that right after the show, and there wasn't too many people attending, so I kind of stopped. But if you all drop in the comments and tell me what time would be best for you all to get into a Q&A after the show. Would that be 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock? Would it be right after the show? I need you guys to kind of let me know what you want so that I can start to kind of tweak the way I run this show to give you more value, to give you more access to direct response strategies. What else do I got? Don't forget to join my Kick-Ass Marketing group. And let's see, what else do we have? We're going to sign off like we do every episode with our WTF Marketing Moments of the Week. And this week's WTF Marketing Moments are when logos go bad, when logos go way, way wrong. Not quite sure what you all see when you look at the Computer Doctor's logo, but I'd have to say that some of you are going to see the same thing I saw, and I'm not going to emphasize it. Y'all can kind of make that one out on your own. And we got another one, when logos go terribly wrong. This dental clinic here. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Not quite sure that that's dental work, but that's what I got for you guys today for the WTF Marketing Moments of the Week. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Remember, You can't deposit excuses. Get busy. Stop procrastinating. Overcome your fears. Share your fears. Drop some comments. Let's make 2018 a kick-ass year. And I want to make this show much better, much more interactive. And I need you guys to give me your comments, your feedback, your opinions on what you want to learn about, what time you want to do that. Hit me up in the comments. I'm going to sign off. I'll see you guys next week for episode 66 of Rob How My Marketing Sucks. And I got to walk around and turn the camera off because my wife's not here. But so happy to be back. I missed you guys. Not everybody. Okay? Not everybody I missed, but I did miss you guys. Happy to be back at it. Going to kick some ass in 2018. I'm signing off.